So guys, this is just for your consent that I have started recording of the session. So today what we are going to do here is we are going to learn first of all the particular way that how we are going to do practice going forward. Right guys? So today I'll be telling you how to create one EC2 machine. Obviously like those guys who have AWS account will go on to this particular section services. Then they can figure out a particular tool known as EC2. Guys, why I'm telling you, obviously, like we are sitting in Linux class and we are talking about AWS. That seems a little irrelevant, but yes, why I'm telling so? So what we are going to do, I'll be telling you how to create EC2 machine in order to do your practice later on, right? So first of all, we will go here and we will hit on launch instance. The virtual machines in AWS environment are known as instances. Right, guys? Now we will give it a name. For example, Linux box. Now, the particular operating system which we are going to select. So, for example, we have Amazon Linux. That is just like Red Hat, but support is not provided from Red Hat side here. Then we have Mac OS. Then after we have Ubuntu, we have Windows, Red Hat, and so many more operating systems we have. But as we know, the certifications which are provided by the particular vendor, so that is Red Hat only. That's why we are going to begin with Red Hat. Just a moment, guys. Yes, guys. So we are going to select here Red Hat, and the reason being because Red Hat is the particular vendor. Obviously, it used to be an individual organization earlier, but right now Red Hat is taken over by IBM. Right, so Red Hat is the operating system which we are going to select for this particular purpose. Then the particular detail of this machine are mentioned here. This is of 64-bit, right? This is the ARM, like Amazon Resource Machine Image. This is known as ARM, right? We are going to select here. Then yes, guys. So we are going to select here the particular, like there are two type of images. Like if you see here, like we have ARM and we have x86 64-bit, right? So these are two we have. Now what we are going to select here, the particular x86 64-bit. Guys, one more advantage which we have here. So the advantage here is AWS provides us a facility that we can run one virtual machine for entire year. Like under free tier eligible section, we can create a machine with 1 CPU and 1 GB amount of RAM for 1 calendar year, like for 365 days, without paying even a single penny, right? So we are going to select a T2 micro only. Keep this thing in mind, only T2 micro is for free. If you see in drop down list here.
And what about the storage?
Up to 8 GB, you will be able to use up to 30 GB.
For T2 micro or T3 micro, right?
Yeah, yeah. For T2 micro instance, you can use up to 30 GB of storage. That will be for free. Beyond that, it will be chargeable. Right? So if we talk about T2 is small, so if you try to use it, so 2 GB amount of RAM you are going to get and 1 CPU. But in that case, guys, you will have to pay this much amount per hour, $0.0248 USD per hour. Right? So as we are doing just for practical sake, we are actually not going to have some amount of heavy load on this. So what we are going to do, we are going to use T2 micro only, which was already selected, right? Okay, then we have key pair login. So guys, we need to understand this thing that whenever we create a server, so after creation of it, we need to log into that server. Like we need to access that server. So there are multiple ways in order to access that environment. The very first way here is like it is your username and password. But when we are creating an EC2 image, an EC2 machine, so we do not have any username or password in order to log into that, right? So we need to select either an existing key pair if I have, or we can create a new key pair. So let us create new. For example, I'm going to create Linux patch. I can create a new key pair. Now there are two things, guys, which we need to do. So first of all, we need to define like what sort of algorithm we are going to use. Like either it is going to be RSA or ED25519. There are two different encryption algorithms which we can use. So we are going to select here RSA. Now, private key file format. So guys, there are like those guys who are already working on Linux or those who are aware of it. So in order to take a remote session, we need to have two things. First of all, either a particular terminal, right? Or a particular like putty. There's a particular software known as putty. We can use that. So guys, if we try to log in via putty, so we need to have .ppk file. If we log in via like any Git, any terminal like this, as I have this one, right? So if we try to log in via this particular terminal, so we need to have .pam file. So we need to be quite sure of it that what sort of software we are going to use going forward. So that's why like we can decide the type of key pair format which we need to have. So in my case, I'll be using my Mac OS terminal. So I'll be using .pam. Those guys who are willing to log in with the help of putty, they can use .ppk format. I'll download it. So guys, I have selected here Linux batch. And guys, this is the particular PAM file which I have created here. Now I'll have to select a particular network segment here, like what VPC I'm going to select. What subnet, like there are multiple data centers which are created within Mumbai region. This is a region, guys, Mumbai. So within Mumbai, there are different data centers available. So right now, I do not want to make any choice because end of the day, wherever I create, so I'll be having only one server, right? So then after, if I want, I can modify that after hitting on this edit button.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you explain the VPC subnet and all the parameters that is defining network settings?
Yeah. So VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. So this is going to be isolated network segment for you or for your organization. Only the particular resources which are going to be created inside this VPC will be accessible to you or your your administrators only. No one over internet will be allowed to access or to log in into this particular segment until unless you explicitly allow that user to log in or to access. This stands for Virtual Private Cloud. Now, when we talk about subnets, so subnets are basically availability zones. Now, what does that mean? So within a particular single region, as I gave you a particular geographical area, so there are different data centers available. Let us say we have 3 data centers, like one is in Mumbai, second is in Hyderabad, third one is in Bangalore, right? So we need not to worry about the physical location of that data center. But what we need to know about is that the particular server which we are going to create should be created in different availability zones. So for example, if due to any unforeseen reason, the availability goes down, for example, the internet cable is cut, right? There is no no connectivity for the data center. Then even I will have at least 2 other availability zones where I shall be able to access my resources. So one subnet is equal to one availability zone. And that is why we are seeing here, like we can select different availability zones. Like we have 1A, AP South 1A, 1B, and 1C. We need not to worry about that what is the physical location of these data centers. And moreover, guys, you will not get to know until unless you are explicitly working with the vendor. Like vendor means like CSP cloud service provider, whether it is Amazon, AWS, Azure, whatever. So if you are working with them only, then you will get to know, because there are some terms and conditions that no one can advertisement for the particular data center location, because they have really sensitive and critical data related to multiple customers, right? So you will never ever be able to find any sign mentioned on the particular building where data center is running. It's not only about AWS, but with other data center providers as well. So whether you would like to assign a public IP address with this or not, these options are available with you. By default, it is enabled because if we do not have a public IP address, we shall not be able to log into this machine, which we are going to create. Now, guys, when we talk about security groups, so security group are sort of firewall rules, which we usually create, that where from we are going to allow, like I'm going to allow here all traffic, right? So I want that all port numbers on this server should be accessible to everyone, whoever has access to internet. Because guys, this particular server I'm going to create for demo purpose only, so I need not to worry about that. But yes, if we are going to create this type of server in a real production environment, we need to be opening the particular port number from specific sources only, such as I want that port number 22 for TCP protocol should be accessible from my IP address only. This is my IP address, guys. Or let us say I want that there are a couple of IP addresses such as like 12.32.22/8, like .0/8. Like these are a couple of IP addresses where from I want that my this server should be accessible. Or not only this, let us say I want, this is my office address, like 89. This is my office IP address. I want that my server should be accessible from this IP address only. So in real production environment, guys, we do like this, that we whitelist a particular port number 22, which is going to be associated with the particular machine which I'm going to create, should be accessible from a specific source only, right? Moreover, for demo purpose, as we are doing it right away, so we can whitelist it from anywhere. Because once we will perform this particular practical, once we are done with it, so definitely we are going to remove this particular machine. So obviously there will be no risk at all. Right, guys? Moreover, if you would like to see the advanced settings here, like how many interfaces are associated, how many IP addresses are going to be associated with this, whether IPv6 are allowed or not, that sort of configuration you can define here. Now, this particular section says about the storage. We are going to have 10 GB of disk storage associated with it by default. There are different type of volumes which we can associate with this. Like we have GP3, GP2, IO1, IO2, cold HDD. So these are the particular type of disk which we have. We will discuss sometime later.
What is the difference between GP2, GP3 and?
So GP2 stands for general purpose type 2, SSD type 2. GP3 is a like enhanced version of it. So overall, you are going to get minimum, okay, over here you get minimum 100 IOPS per GB. Minimum, okay, 3 IOPS per GB you get here. 3 input output per second you get with this volume, but a minimum threshold of 100 is like restricted. That if you are going to create, let us say 33 GB of this, so you will get 100 IOPS, right? Okay. Because 33 into 3 equal to 99. But if you create a particular volume of, for example, 34 GB, so 34 into 3 equal to 102, right? So in that case, you will have 102 IOPS. So 3 IOPS per GB, it will provide you. But if you go beyond 33, then it will be calculated one like GB into 3, right? But AWS says that whether you are assigning less amount of disk with your server, but AWS will ensure to provide you 100 IOPS. Minimum 100 IOPS AWS will provide you in order to associate a particular or a particular disk with you, right? When we talk about GP3, so guys, GP3 provides you really high throughput. So at least 3000 IOPS you will get. Okay. You can reduce that. And guys, one more thing I would like to highlight here, those who are willing to go for AWS as well. So guys, keep this thing in mind. GP3 is cheaper than GP2 because this is of latest technology. Yeah. But for now, we are going to go with GP2. The same thing goes with IO1 and IO2, like based on number of IOPS you want, you can define IO1 and IO2, right? So that
you had said like IOPS for the GP3 is more than GP2, right?
Yes. Moreover, it is cheaper as well.
Two advantages there.
Yeah, two advantages. First of all, it is like GP2 is costlier, wherein providing less amount of IOPS. GP3 is cheaper in providing high amount of IOPS as well as throughput test.
Okay.
So guys, we are going to launch this instance, right? We have, if you want, you can once again review it. Like we have given it a name as Linux box. We have selected this Red Hat image. Then after we have done this sort of settings here, that is it. Launch instance, hit this particular button, and that is it. So guys, now we have created one EC2 machine, EC2 instance we have created, because we need to do practice on it later on. Just select your EC2 machine. This is getting prepared. This is getting ready. This is in running state now. Just select this one. Now, guys, see, we need to log into this server. And how do we log in? So, guys, there is an option known as connect. We will hit this button. And guys, there is a particular example written here. So this is not only example, but this is the actual command which you can use in order to log into your server. So now I will log into this particular, this is terminal of my Mac OS. I'll go to the particular location where I downloaded that key pair with the name of Linux keys, like Linux batch. This is the particular name of that file. If I hit this command, it will throw some errors. First of all, it will ask me whether you really want to continue to log into that server. I'll say yes. And guys, keep this thing in mind. We will have to explicitly type yes. If I type in Y, it will not work. YES. I'll have to type complete word. Now it says, warning, unprotected private key file. Guys, this is the very first question which usually people ask, that while doing SSH, what sort of issues do you face? This is very first interview question, guys. You can make a note of it, that what are the issues do you face while doing SSH into a server? So the very first issue could be that the particular PAM file which you are using, that may have some wrong permissions. So what sort of permission has to be there? chmod, run a command chmod. We will discuss in detail what is chmod. 400, and guys, if you see, there is a particular command written here, chmod 400 linux batch.pen. If you see, this command is already written. The same command I'm going to use here, chmod linux batch.pem. The same command. Either I could have copied from here, or I can write it myself. Once again, I'll go back to my previous command. We can use up arrow to look for the commands which we have executed in past. Right? Hit it, and you are in. You are logged into a remote server. Are we clear with this thing, guys? Any questions so far? If you have any question, I'll be happy to answer.
One question is, sir, also using a window, I will create a putty.
Okay, so in that particular case, if you remember, when I was just generating new key pair, there was two options. Either I could have downloaded a .pem file or .ppk.
Okay, sir. After we will connect to the generator putty.
Yes. So you will have to log into that particular server with the help of .ppk file.
Okay. Will same command use and Linux machine or Windows machine?
So in that particular case, you will not be using this particular command. There will be different option to log into that machine. And the options are, like, first of all, you will log into your EC2 dashboard. You will select the machine, the instance running, right? Then you will select this instance. And now you will have to copy this public IP address. This public IP address, you know, the user you have already seen from the example command, that is EC2-user.
Yes, sir.
So you will define your username. You will enter your IP address, which we were seeing on the last page. Then after, you will have to browse, and you will have to upload the particular keys into authorized section of your putty. Right?
Right.
So then after, you will be able to log in. Or rather than if you really do not want to go into that particular direction, you want to use some sort of terminal over Windows as well, you can use git bash. Just go to Google, type in this, Google like git bash download, hit on the very first link. There are different options available, whether you want to download for Mac, Windows or Linux. Just hit it and it will ask you two things, like whether you want to download installer or the portable. So just hit download like installer version, and the same way like as we install, like click and next, the same option will be there to install your git bash there, and the same command which I'm using here to log into your server, the server which I have created. So the same command will be used in order to log into that particular server.
Okay, sir.
Right, guys? Okay, so now when we have logged in, so guys, first of all, there is a command known as host name. So guys, we call a server as host. Keep this thing in mind. We call a server as host, and the name, the particular computer name is known as host name. So guys, this is the current name of this computer which is defined. So you can type in a particular command which is known as host name. And what this command is going to do, this is going to print the current host name of the server. Right, guys? Second thing, if you see a dollar mentioned here, so guys, sometimes you will see dollar, sometimes you will see pound. It means hash. What does that mean, guys? So if you are logged into this particular server with a normal user means not admin, not root, then you will be able to see this dollar symbol here. Now, this admin can do a lot of things. For example, I'm going to run a couple of commands here, such as I want to see the date. So guys, there is a particular command known as date. We can type in here. It will tell you that today is Saturday, October 8, and this is the particular time in UTC. This is not IST, guys. That's why I do not get confused that it is 12:28 and why it is showing like that. So guys, this is in UTC. There are different time formats. Once it will be displayed in IST, then for sure we will be able to see 12:28 here. We are not going to learn how to change like date and time right now. We will see that later on. But yes, for now you can run a date command. Now guys, sometimes date command is really, really useful. You guys may ask, okay, what is use of date command when we know the date and time ourselves? So guys, sometimes what happens when we talk about automation. So if you see Saturday, October 8, this does not really look good. You want a particular time in some specific format. For example, you want in this particular segment, first of all, year, then month, then date. Whenever you will try to do some automation, so in that particular case, guys, you will explicitly not write the date format. But what would you want? For example, I am trying to like take backup of any file. The file is really critical. So what do I want here is, I want that whenever I'm taking a backup, so some date should be mentioned along with the file name. Right, guys? So I have automated something. For example, I'm going to create a file. So guys, there is a command known as touch, Touch. This command is basically used to generate some empty file without any data. I'm saying here, log.txt. I created a file. ls, it means list is the particular file. List is the command. ls is the command to list the files. Right? But guys, what do I want? I want that date should be appended, or there has to be a particular date along with this particular file name. Whatever file I'm creating, there has to be a date. Just define dash inside okay, not this one. Inside backticks, you can define this particular command, date plus %f. That's it. Which means I did not only create a file, but I have appended a particular date as well. So which means date command is really necessary to know at the time of when we are going to do automation. Obviously, we will talk about automation as well. We will write so many shell scripts going forward. But for now, we need to understand that this is a particular date command and there are so many options, such as if you want to check what other options are there, we can talk about date -help. It will print all the possible options. Like, okay, for example, what option did I use here, guys? This one, plus %f, full date, same as %year, %m, %d, right? Do you see that particular thing, guys, here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, for example, if you want that name should be printed as full, what option is that? %A. What is happening with this? Oh.
I think you are giving a space.
Yeah, that was syntax error, guys. Otherwise, command is good. So if you see, it is printing only the day. Right, guys? It is not printing like anything else. So there are so many other options which are available. If you type in here help section, like for example, if you want to print like you want to print date and time in this particular format, you can use like that. If you want that your month name should be published like printed in like in full, you can type in %B, C, D. There are different options, guys. So based on your requirement, whatever you want, so that will be printed based on your requirement, guys. Are we clear with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, after date command, we have a particular option which is known as ls. There another command is there, which is ls. ls stands for list. Now, guys, we are not able to understand that what are the permission of this particular file, what is size of this particular file. These sort of things we are not actually able to recognize right now, right? So what we are going to do, we will run an option with -l, like list. ls-l. So right now you are able to see the particular permissions of this particular file. R means read, W stands for write, read and write. And to whom? To this particular user, which is EC2. Once again, this username is printed, guys. What does it mean? Why do we have this username 2 times printed?
So it's a group one, but can you explain why when we create a user, then same with the same username, a group will be created with the same name also?
Right. So why does it happen? So guys, the Linux operating system says there are 3 concepts. First of all, user, group, and others. Whenever a file is created, there are 3 owners of that file, either a user, a group, and others. So when we will talk about file permission in detail, then definitely I'll be explaining this into much deeper details. But for now, you can understand only one thing, that when we are trying to understand this user, this particular component, which is known as this second user. So guys, there is an option which we can definitely ensure not to create a user group with the same name. We can create a user without group. So when we will be talking about user and group management, so at that moment, we will see like how do we manipulate that particular thing. But yes, for now, I would like to tell you 2 things. First of all, this is a user. And if one another segment is coming with the same thing, that like this username is getting repeated. So guys, this is known as primary group of the user. Now, when I call it primary, so what does it mean? So guys, in Linux operating system, there are 2 types of groups available. First of all, it is primary. Second thing, it is known as secondary group, right? So primary groups are created along with a user itself with the same name. And secondary groups are those like we are going to create a group name like admin, like HR, like finance, like sales, like marketing. So these sort of customized group when we create. So these are known as secondary group. Are we clear with that, guys?
Yeah. Means primary group will create by default with the same username.
Yeah. By default on every Linux operating system, this particular user and this particular group gets created along with the user creation.
Means any reason behind that, or it is predefined like?
Yes, it is like there is a reason behind it. So let us say I want that only not EC2 users should be able to like read and write on this. I want some other user. Let us say I'm going to create a user with the name of Tom, Natasha, Susan, Harry, Ravi, Ramesh, Suresh, Mahesh, right? So I want those users should also be able to manage this. So what will I do? I will add all the users like Ravi, Mahesh, Suresh, Ramesh into this primary group, right? So what would happen? Because this group has read and write permission onto this particular file, which is named as log.txt, right? So in that particular case, not only EC2 user, but all other users which are going to be part of this will also be able to read and write this particular file. So if I want to allow multiple users to be able to modify this particular file, I will have to assign those users this particular group. That is why in order to manage the accessibility and modification settings with multiple users, we use this particular concept as group. Because see, at a moment, only one user can be owner of this particular file. But if we want to allow multiple, we can add those users into this particular group. Right, guys? Okay. This particular 0 shows the size of this particular file. October 8, this particular shows the particular time stamp of this particular, like when it is created, and this is the name of this particular file. The time stamp, when it is created, the date, and the month, that way. So guys, if I create another file here, so guys, if you see, the timestamp is modified because we have taken approx 7 minutes to understand all these concepts, and the size remains 0. So guys, if I try to write anything here, let us say there is a particular command known as cat. Guys, you can make a note of it. There is a command known as cat. So cat command is basically used to read the content of any file, like concatenation. This particular command is used to read any file. There is nothing because size is 0. Now guys, cat command not only used to read the content of any file, but we can write some data inside any file with the help of this particular command. So guys, this greater than symbol will be used to append the particular text which we are going to write afterwards into this particular file. If I hit enter, now this will ask me, what do you want to write? I'll say, I want to write my name. Right? My name is. Now we have written. Now how to save it? So guys, we have to press Ctrl and D. To save this particular data inside this particular file, we have to press Ctrl and D. Oh, I'm sorry. If I type in Ctrl D, I will be logged out from the system. So I was not supposed to execute that. Okay, so guys, if you see, some alphabets are written here, some numbers are written. What does this mean, guys? This is the size of this particular file. What is this?
Size of the file, but
in bytes.
In bytes, okay.
So guys, is this the same content which we wrote inside this particular file?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So now what do we want? So guys, first of all, I want to know that, okay, date command we have understood. Now, if we want to know about cal, like calendar. If we want to know about cal, like calendar. So obviously, this will print the calendar. Moreover, guys, if I want to see the calendar of 2023, so this will print the calendar of 2023 completely. 2099 as well. If I want to talk about like 2222, will it print? Yes, it is printing. Like calendar after maybe a couple of 100 years later on. Right, guys? So we have a capability to print the calendar of multiple years ahead. Now, what other options do we have with calendar? Just type in -f1 and it will print, such as -1 or -f1. We can use this particular option with cal command. Show only a single month. -f3, so only like 3 months is spanning the date. -n, month number, you can define like how many months you want to print. For example, you want to begin the particular week of the month, like Sunday as first day of the week or Monday as first day of the week. Let us see the example of it. Like cal -m. So guys, if you see right now, Monday is the first day of the week, right? If I define cal -s, Sunday is the first day of the week. So like based on your utility, you can customize the command. Now guys, what is happening here? So this particular is known as command and this is known as options, or you can call that switches. So why do we use it? So guys, basically options are used in order to enhance the utility of any command. So right now, cal is not fulfilling my requirement, such as cal is just printing the current month. But what if I want to print next month? What to do in that case, guys? I want to see November 22. What to do, guys?
+1.
Cal +1.
Oh.
Cal +1 does not work. Shall we go to help?
Yes.
It says -n. So number of months is starting with date, month, right? Span the date when displaying multiple months. So these options are available, guys, which we can use along with this, right?
Right.
So everything, whatever you want, like these are known as options. These are the options which we can use along with this particular command. Zero, 0, 1, 1. Okay. This is minus, this is 1. Type in 2. This will not work. If I type in 3, this works. September, October, November. Right, guys? So what are these? These are known as options. Now, what does that mean, guys? This is command and this is an option. So guys, one more thing is there. There are 3 major things when we work on a terminal. We should be knowing, first of all, the particular command. Then after, options. And then we should be knowing about argument. So guys, what is argument here? For example, if I add, as I told you, like cat is the particular command to read output of anything, such as log.txt, right, guys? But are you able to see like what is the line number of these? Obviously,
No.
we all are intelligent enough that we can count like a first, second, third,
1,
right?
2, 3.
But what if I want that computer should be printing line numbers as well along with this? So like line number 1, 2, and 3. So if you see, the command has been modified a little. Now there are three components. What is this? Command. I wanted to enhance the utility of this particular command. So what did I use here? hyphen n, or you can call it dash n. Then after the particular, what is this? File name.
Argument.
So guys, file name is known as argument. So there are three major components. First of all, we have command, then option, then argument. Okay. Now, if I wanted, what else can get command do? Cat hyphen help. Are there some other options available? Like show all, numbers not blank, show ends, display dollar at end of each line. For example, if there is a particular way that we are writing like very long line and we want to see like where the line ends, so we can define here hyphen E. So that will print a dollar at the end of the file. Wherever line ends, we shall be able to identify, okay, from here we need to read that this is the next line. Right, guys? So based on the particular like components, for example, if there are some spaces in between, let me copy this particular thing. Once again, I would like to append this. Cat command I have written. Let me copy this. Cat. I'll type in this. I will enter 3 spaces. This is new line added. Y. Once again, enter. Done. Anything, whatever I want. And guys, how do we save it?
Control D.
Great. Control D. If I want to read it, cat log.txt, all the spaces are also coming here. But guys, is it really looking good that we are reading so many spaces as well?
No.
Once again, go to help and see. Squeeze blanks. So what do we need to use here? Cat -s log.txt. So the multiple white spaces which are coming in, it has squeezed that to 1. Knowingly, I just wanted to tell you that it will not remove all the spaces, because sometimes we really do not want to reduce the visibility of the text. Why do we add spaces? Why do we add blank lines? Because we really want to highlight something whenever we are changing any paragraph or something. So at that moment, we prefer to give one blank line. But we really do not want to reduce the visibility of the text. That's why it is going to reduce only 1. Right, guys? Clear? So end of the day, what we really want to see here is, so we want to see, first of all, it is, what is it? The command. This is the option, or we can call it switch as well. And moreover, it is known as argument. So guys, sometimes what happens, we may have to give multiple switches with the command and multiple arguments with the command, such as ls-l. I'm going to define this. I'm going to define log.txt and log new.txt. So what I have done here is I have given one command which is known as ls, one option which is known as -l or -l, and 2 file names only. So we can give one command, one option, and multiple arguments. Right, guys? Clear with that?
Yes, sir.
Great. Moreover, not only this, we can do one more thing. For example, I want to read this in some different way. Let us say I want to read this particular number in human readable formats. Obviously, the particular size is very low. It is not even of 1 KB. That's why it is showing like that. So let us say, let us write some more data into it. Or let us say copy some other files here, CP. So guys, CP is the particular command to copy something. CP is the command to copy something. So there is a directory known as etc. We will be discussing about it after this particular thing. So CP, let us say fs tab, and here. Forget about it, like what is it, fs tab. Do not focus on that. I just wanted to tell you something, ls-h. So even it is more or less data. I wanted to copy some data. Let me copy for such a file which has some data inside it.
Sudo file code.
Normal user does not have access to sudo's file. That's why I did not do that. Yes. So guys, if I run a command like ls-l, so guys, are you able to read this number? Like it will become a little hard to read. So guys, if we want to enhance the utility of ls-l command, we can type in h. And it will print the data in human readable format. Because guys, we are very well aware of like what is byte, what is bit, what is KB, MB, GB, TB, and like going forward. So guys, what is the biggest unit of data storage?
Peta.
Bit, byte, then KB, then
MB.
then
GB.
then
Tera.
then then
Peta. Ha. Hexa. Ha.
then
Zeta. Zeta.
so guys, these are the units of data storage. Bit, byte, KB, MB, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, yottabyte, and zettabyte. Have you heard these sort of words, guys, ever?
No, sir.
No.
You have definitely heard, but you do not remember. Have you ever seen the movie Rajnikant's movie Robot?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What was the storage capacity?
Zettabyte.
His speed was 1 terahertz, and the storage was in zettabyte. Remember or not?
Yes.
Detail oriented.
At the time of introduction of that chitti, that machine told that speed is 1 terahertz and storage was maybe 512 zettabyte. So you have heard these words. So these are the units of data storage, guys. Right? So it is really easy to understand. Now, if I want that the particular files which I see here, so let us say I have 10,000 of files created in a folder. I want to see files in such a way that all the latest file should be coming on the top, for example. All the latest files should be coming on the top. But guys, if there are 10,000 files, so I'll be able to see the oldest one. I can define here -r. What does that mean? Like all the latest file will be kept in the bottom. So all the latest file which have been modified recently, those will be coming in this particular segment. So this is the file which was created very first time. Then after this particular file was created, then I removed the data from it and it was modified at this particular time. Right, guys? So LTR, like in reverse order, we want to see. Guys, now if I run this particular command, what it is going to say?
Latest file should be in the last.
But if you see latest file should be in the last, so this is the latest file and even this is the latest file. Then why it is coming on the top and why it is coming at the last? And even this is not categorized based on size because there are two files which have no size in between.
Because of size.
Last read or last modified.
No, based on the like alphabets.
Okay.
S either like senior most, L comes in between, F comes in the beginning of the like alphabets, right? This is showing in reverse order. For example, if I create a file once again, touch, what comes after S? R. Okay, like before S, R. So let us say I'm going to create a file rest. If I run the same command again, so you just see rest is coming after S. Like this is going in reverse alphabetical order. If I define here T, it will be based on time. Clear, guys? So the most and the like very, very frequently executed command, the command is ls-lrtha. This is the mostly executed command which every Linux administrator executes, but does not understand the relevance, like why do we use lrtha. So guys, A stands for all files, even archived files, even like files which are like hidden files you can talk about. So if you see, a couple of other files are coming here, like we are seeing here .bash rc file, .bash underscore profile, .bash underscore logout. So guys, whenever we want to create any hidden file, so we just place a dot before it, such as I created a file .servergyan. So will it come under this particular command? The file is created, guys.
Yes, sir. It's created, but it's in hidden.
This is an LA. So somewhere or the other, you will be able to see the file like .servergyan. Right, guys? Now, ls-lrtha. If you see, obviously the latest file is coming later on. This is hidden. Everything is available. But guys, what is this dot? And what is this dot?
Dot represent the current location
Correct.
and double dot represent the previous, means one step behind.
There is nothing behind this. Slash is the origin of everything.
Yes.
Even here it shows dot. What does that mean?
Never thought.
Yes, guys. Waiting for your comment on this.
Seen many times, but never thought of that.
I know, because you guys are more focused on your operational work. These are like just like that things. So no one focuses on this. Yes, let me tell you what happens. So whenever we talk, we use cd command, right? Like change directory. So cd dot. If we run this particular command, we are not going to go back to this particular. But yes, let us say we are here inside /temp. Dot. It means it will take us one directory back. But when there is no back, so it will remain at the same place. So dot stands for your parent directory. Okay, see. If I run this command pwd, we discussed within last batch as well, within last class. So where we are /tmp. But if I run a command cd dot, where we will move on to /. But still, guys, the command accepts the argument, but it will not go any other where. Dot represents the previous, like your parent directory. Right? Are we clear with this? Okay. If we go to /temp and if we try to run this command cd dot, it will not do anything. Right, guys? Now, what if ls-lrtha, if I run this, okay, not this here, okay. We were working in this particular directory. Home /ec2 user. Okay. If I run this command ls-lrtha, and I do not want to see this, I can use capital A here. So guys, what I'm trying to tell you guys, here. So based on the utilization, for example, if you would like to get the output of this particular command into a file, but you want to exclude dot and dot. But if you exclude dot, all the hidden files will also be excluded, right?
Right.
If you do not exclude this, so what is use of this particular dot? Nothing. So guys, what to do in this particular case? We have to use capital A instead of small a. Clear with that?
And like L means last, R means like what?
L for list. like which is known as long list of command it is going to print. R, now what does this R mean, guys? R for reverse order, right? But T is always going to override it. H for human readable and A for archived files. Small a will include this dot and dot as well. But wherein if we talk about capital A here, so that will print archived file, but excluding this. Clear? Are we clear with this, guys?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
What is ls-lz? This stands for your SE Linux context. So if you would like to print this information, you will use capital Z. This option is rarely used, but yes, the option is available. I was supposed to tell you. That's why I have mentioned this. Guys, wherever you see this dot is related to this particular output which is coming in. Like this is known as SE Linux context. Security enhanced Linux context. We will discuss about later on. But for now, just remember this option. Moreover, there is one more command which is frequently used, ls-li. I stands for inode, like physical location of your data onto your disk. Physical location of your data onto this disk is known as inode. Right, guys? Now, what is this total? Guys, what is this 688?
Size of the total list. Inode. So it's size of the inode. Disk.
No. Just count it.
677 KB. Okay. And total file available here with all size.
Okay. So are we clear with this so far? Any questions?
What is inode? Can you explain?
So guys, inode, okay. Inode is a physical location of your data onto your disk. Inode contains everything. For example, ll, if I run this command, okay, ll is a shortcut, or you can call that alias of ls-l. If you run this command ll long list, or if you run ls-l, both means the same. This is shortcut of this command. This itself is not a command at all. But this is a shortcut to this, right? So guys, when we are talking about ls-l, what sort of information we are seeing here? Okay, let us say if we run this command. So what we are seeing, only the file names. Any other information is being printed? No?
No.
Right. So guys, if I want to see the size of this file known as services, where from will I get to know? Sometime in interview, an interviewer may ask you, okay, where file permissions of a files are stored in Linux operating system? What would be your answer, guys? Where the file permissions of a file are stored?
Permissions.
Because see, if there is a file created, obviously it contains a permission, maybe no permission, but obviously it contains the permission, right? Where these permissions are stored?
Shadow file.
Shadow file itself is a file which contains information of user password. But when we are talking about individual file permissions, so guys, see, ls-li. This is the physical location of this particular file. These are the inodes. Now, guys, when we want to store data on some particular file system, we have to format that, right? In order to store files onto a particular server, we need to do one thing. We need to store some files there, right? We need to format that before restoration of the file.
Right.
So while formatting a particular disk, there is a concept which is known as creating file system. And file system is basically going to create some inodes on that particular disk. So these inodes are the physical location where we are going to store the files. So all the information related to a file are stored in this particular inode, such as the file permission, the number of hard links created for this particular file, who is owner of this particular what is the group of this particular file, what is size, when it was created and when it was modified last. Every piece of information, whatever you can think of related to a file, sorry, is stored in this particular inode number, except one thing, and that is the file name. An inode contains each and every information related to a file, except what?
Content.
No.
File name. File name.
File name. Content is the particular data.
Mhm.
We cannot select that data. So basically, data, file ownership, file permission, number of file link, everything is stored within inode. Only one thing is not there, which is file name. Because the operating system does two things. First of all, it stores data. Second thing, it does mapping of an inode with a file name. Because being human, we are only able to read or remember the particular names. That is why this is a name, this is a name, this is a name, right? So basically, the mapping of this file name is done with this particular number. So this is a physical location of data where our content is lying, and the data name is mapped with this particular file name, right? So inode is a physical location of data which is available onto our disk, and with the help of this file name, we are able to read that data. So now guys, if someone is going to ask you, okay, where the particular file permissions are stored on a file system, so what will you say?
Inode.
Inode. Great. And how do we check inode number? ls-li, I for inode. Right.
There is some restriction on the number of inodes, right?
Right. There is a restriction. So guys, whenever we format a file system, so based on the particular block size, inodes are created. So if I run a command mkdir, so guys, as we were doing touch command, we were using touch command to create empty files. We can use directory in order to create this one. What do I call it? Directory. One more directory. Let me create.
Okay.
So guys, see, the permission sets are different. The color is different, in fact, and this size is different. So guys, when I created a file, this one file like locknew.txt, this did not consume any sort of space. But when I'm creating this particular folder, so why does it contain like 6 bytes? And this file will be, this size will be vary, guys, always. On different operating system, this size may vary. And why is that so? Because guys, we need to understand the folders are a special kind of files. The file and folder, there are two things, right? So folders are, in Linux language, in Linux operating system term, we can say only one thing. Everything is a file. Whether it is a directory, it is file, it is printer, it is RAM, it is CPU, everything is a file, right? As per base concept. So guys, we need to understand this thing. Everything is a file. Good. Now, what we are going to say here is that directories, like this one, file and directory. Directories are a special kind of file which contains the metadata. Now, what is metadata? Guys, metadata is a terminology which is used for data of data. For example, if I move all these files from this location to inside text, then if I want to locate something that, okay, I'm looking for file with the name of log.txt, this directory will be able to respond, okay, that I hold this sort of file, which means this directory will have the information of all the files and folders which are kept inside it. Right? So directory has its own metadata, wherein file does not have. Right? So in order to maintain the metadata, it contains the information of entire partition. So as I told you, the size may vary based on the particular size of our hard disk. So let us say if hard disk size is 8 GB, so it might be of 5 KB or 5 byte or maybe 10 byte. But let us say if we have a hard disk of maybe 2 terabyte, so it may the particular folder size may end up with 2 MB. Without creating anything inside that, the size may end up to 2 MB. Why is that so? Because that directory is going to contain the information of entire operating system. For example, the size was 8 GB. I have consumed 7 GB of disk space inside this particular folder. I created a file of 7 GB, right? Now I'm trying to create 2 GB disk here. So obviously, as soon as I will end up utilizing complete space within this, so this particular file, which I'm going to create right now, that will give a message, no space left on device, wherein this folder does not have information about this particular folder, like what size of space we have consumed here, right? So end of the day, what matters here is that the particular overall disk space which we are consuming inside this particular directory. So whenever the space in this particular directory will be consumed while creating any file, this will spread information across all the inodes. That please do not accept any file which is greater than this much amount of space, because I already hold 7 GB of data inside me. Okay, just let's take another practical example. How will this directory get to know that disk space is full if this directory is not going to populate the information to rest of inodes? Because guys, all the directories are created on the same partition, and these directories do not only hold the information of metadata of other directories, but these directories understands that how many empty blocks are available on which we can allow a user to write data. That is why when we create directory, so some metadata is assigned to it. Yes, guys.
So it contains complete inode information of the file system.
Yes, directories contain the complete inode information, that what inode is utilized, what inode is free, how many inodes are consumed, what inode has what type of file, whether that is a directory, that is a file, that is a link, like what.
Okay, got it.
Every single directory contains the information of all the operating system metadata. See, practically these things are not usable, but when you are doing troubleshooting, these things are really useful. Because if you know the depth, only then you shall be able to troubleshoot in an efficient manner. Now, guys, what's the command we have run so far? Like we have seen like cat command, cal command, ls command, we have seen cd, pwd, these sort of command we have seen, ls command, mkdir command we have seen, right? Now, one more command, guys. Guys, please mute yourself if not speaking.
Yeah, sure.
That will be of great help. Thank you. Okay, now guys, we are going to remove something. There is a command known as rmdir. We can remove directory with the help of this command. Run command, directory is gone. Like rmdir, like test, 1, gone. Same thing with 2, gone. Now guys, if I log into test, if I change my location to this particular directory, like at test3, because I can run this command now, I know pwd is the command to check my current location. If I create a file, touch hello.txt, I come out of this, rmdir and test3. Now what does it say? Directory not empty. rmdir command can only be used to remove empty directories. Clear? rmdir command is used to remove empty directories only.
Yes.
Moreover, rm command can be used. Rm means remove the files, not this one. The file name is log new.txt. That will remove the file without any problem. But will it remove like test3, it says cannot remove test3. It's a directory. Now see the guys situation. rmdir says the directory is not empty, wherein rm command says I cannot remove this because this is a directory. So ideally, guys, rm command is used to remove files. rmdir command is used to remove directories, but should be empty. But in case if we want to remove rm-f test3, it will remove. But it says this is directory. Getting point, guys? Even forcefully, this particular command is not ready to remove a directory. Now what to do? Let us see what is happening. -v for verbose. Whatever it is doing, it is trying to print. I will use here rm-vrf. Verbose for displaying the activities, R for recursive. It means first of all, it removed the directory, like file inside the directory. Did you see the thing, guys? It did not remove the folder first of all, but what it did?
It removed the file first.
Removed the test3/hello.txt. First of all, it removed the file. When the particular directory became empty, then it was able to remove it. Are we clear with that?
Yes.
Like maybe you might have seen that whenever we are doing some practicals, we are doing some testings. So we run a command rm-rf, and then after we define a folder name. So guys, it does not happen that that particular command is going to remove the particular folder itself. First of all, it removes the sub files or sub directories which are created inside that folder. Once the directory is empty, only then the particular rm-rf command is going to remove that particular. But why do we not get to know? Because we do not use this option, that what is happening in backend. Why did I use it? Because I really wanted you to know that only one Linux operating system does not allow us to remove a directory with data. Let us see one more time. mkdir test. Now we can move inside test. mkdir hello. Now let us create a file here. Data, move inside hello. Now let's create a directory here, mkdir, new dir. Let's create a file here, touch. How are you? Any name you can define, right? Move inside new directory. Let's create a particular file here itself. Touch. Lokendra. There is only one file. Let us create a directory as well. mkdir, and what should be the directory name, guys? I have. What is my current location, guys? /home ec2-user test hello, and then after new dir. And inside new dir, I have directory known as demo as well. So even you can see demo. Inside demo, there is nothing created. If I go out, demo and Lokendra, two things are created, one directory, one file. Now if I go back to my home directory, because if I enter cd and enter, then I will go back to my home directory. Right, guys? I told you before as well. Clear, guys? Now, see, if I try to remove this one, okay, like rm, what? Test, will it remove? rm-f, will it remove, guys, now?
Yeah, forcefully.
So guys, what was the latest directory structure? Test, hello, new dir, Lokendra. That was a file. Then there was an empty directory that was deleted. Then after, inside that one, the directory, first of all, the directory inside that new dir was deleted. Then after, directory was deleted. Then inside hello, there were two, like how are you and hello. Then after, like the same, if you see the complete tree, so the tree is deleted from the latest one. Like the latest file which I created, that was Lokendra, right? Do not focus on this because I copied and pasted. If I drag and drop, so this is considered as command. So guys, I hope that we are clear with this, right?
Yes.
Okay, one more thing, guys, I would like to tell you. So guys, there is a command, like as I was telling you, this is $. So this stands for that we are logged in as a normal user. And how do I check which user I'm logged in with? There is a command known as who am I? Guys, what is the command? Who am I? Okay. Now, guys, if I want more details, like who. So, see, very first command was who am I? That only printed one information, that my username. Now, who command is going to give me some additional information, such as the username, like that Linux terminal on which I am logged in, right? Guys, what is this time? Can you tell me?
Logged in time.
Right, absolutely right. This is my logged in time. When did I log in? Right, I have logged into this particular for 43 minutes now. Because if you remember, in between, I logged out when I was trying to tell you that how to save the data of like cat command, right? Then after I logged in again. If I type in this once again, and if I hit again, so it will give you some information like, okay, not this one. Who? When did I log in, guys? Type in date command, you will get to know. But if I need to check, like when did I log in last? So it will tell me that user, EC2-user, logged into this system at this particular time and logged out at this particular time and was active for 15 minutes, right? Once again, the same user logged in from same IP address. This one. And if you see my latest activity, so I logged in at this particular time, is still logged in, like I have yet not logged out. Clear, guys?
And what if I rebooted the system and then again logged in? It will the last command will give all the history of logged in.
Yes. Reboot does not make a difference.
Okay.
Because wtemp command is basically a file. Wtemp is a particular file which is kept inside /var log messages. Wtemp. This file contains the information of this.
Till the server is live, right?
Yeah. No. That particular thing, that statement will not be like good to give. So basically, there are some log rotation policies implemented on the servers. Yes. So maybe for last 7 days, last 15 days. So that settings we will see later on in coming sessions when we will be talking about log rotation and all. So that thing we are going to see in that particular moment.
Okay. Miss the information which is stored in the latest log file, it will give in that command, right?
Yes, for sure, without any doubt.
Miss, are you getting my question? No, if the server is created 2 days ago, right? Let's say I had logged in 2 days ago, but after that I hadn't logged on, and I want to see who has logged on before 2 days, right? So
I have rebooted the server,
right?
Moreover, it will give you information about reboot as well.
Right.
Last reboot was done at this particular time. If you want to know the uptime, you can use a uptime command to check like when the system was rebooted last time.
Right.
So uptime is the command to check the running time of your operating system. Last command is used to check successful logins.
Of all the login users,
last B. But guys, keep this thing in mind. You need to have like admin privileges. Normal user cannot check that who all have tried to log into this server and were not successful. So guys, last command we need to run in order to check successful logins. So guys, why I'm telling you these commands? These commands are basically used for investigation purpose. Last B, right? And the particular btemp file is there. Wtemp file, initially, like if you remember, I was talking about wtemp command, right? Wtemp file. But wtemp command is for successful login and btemp command is for bad logins. Last B stands for bad logins. Clear, guys? So log remains even after reboot. That does not make a difference. Okay. What next?
This last is the successful login of a particular user or all the users?
All the users.
All the users. Okay.
Not only for your user, but whoever has logged in.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So who command is going to tell me like what username is, what is my terminal, when did I log in and everything. This sort of information is printing. But if I want additional details, like who all have logged into this operating system and what they are doing. So W is the command. This will tell you the particular current time, for how long system has been up, how many users have logged in, what is load average of this operating system, what user is there, what is the terminal where from they have logged in, when did they log in, for how long the user has been idle, what is the amount of CPU they are using, and what command they are executing right now. So that piece of information you will get to know.
What is J CPU and P CPU?
Okay, so basically we will discuss about when we are going to talk about load average. Don't worry, forget about it, because otherwise we will move into a different direction.
Okay.
The amount of information, see, I know what it is, right? But the amount of information which I'm trying to convey right now, so that is only for this particular W command, like what sort of output we are getting here. Like what is idle CPU, what command the user is executing. Maybe if I log in with another terminal, I may execute ping command there. It will select some other EC2 user who have logged into the system from the same IP address is using ping command. Right?
Okay. Can you give some details on the terminal type? I know that PTS is pseudo terminal, but exactly what is the meaning of that?
So like if I run a command TTY, teletype terminal, right? So it
what is that? Teletype.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it tells me on which terminal the output of my executive commands are getting printed. Such as, okay, let me do one thing for you guys. I hope that I shall be able to help you on that.
Only W will show what? Like last login?
Yes, what did you say?
Only W command will show what?
Last logged in.
Okay.
So right now, if you see two users are logged in onto this, one user is executing W and another user is not doing anything. That another user is idle for last 40 seconds. Ping google.com. Right now run W command here.
Okay.
Moreover, if you see PTS 1, it is 0. So guys, what does that mean? Let us say I want to run cal command, like cal. But I do not want to print the output of this command here, but onto this particular terminal. So what will I do?
Oh, okay.
Okay, did anything happen here?
No.
So basically, this is a particular terminal where the output of my executed command is getting printed.
Okay.
That is how it works. But guys, I'll suggest not to do this particular thing because like, let us say you are working, you executed W command, you got to know, okay, 5 users are currently working, you executed a command, this one, and maybe you executed rm dash rf or maybe some file name and redirected to some other terminal. So the person will definitely get shocked, like how this file is deleted in that way, right? So
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
I usually say rm-rf, you may lose your job. Be very, very careful while executing this command. This is the most critical command in any organization.
Okay.
Be
Sir,
very.
one more thing, if we use this command, then they will know. How they will know, sir?
Pardon?
Remove RF, we can able to use, then how they will know we only use this command?
Okay, so let me tell you, every single
Not happy with the
organization.
current job.
Okay,
And
wait.
Bash history will also contain the commands. Right?
Leave about bash history. Bash history can be deleted. So whatever we were doing, every single thing is getting captured here.
Audit file. Sure.
And this particular audit file will be, see, I executed a command sudo like su command, right? Which means I tried to escalate my privileges because I really wanted to show you like how we can capture these sort of things. So even if I executed any command, for example, I'm going to execute a command user add. Let us say Tom. Added a user. Go back to audit.log. So what it is going to say here, read this thing very carefully. Type user management. What I did? User management. Message audit trail is this. PID is this. User ID is this. But see, what is AUID?
Right.
What is AUID, guys?
no idea.
The user who executed this particular command, user add. So user ID is 0, which belongs to user root. Like if I run command ID, so it shows user ID is 0. But AUID stands for actual user ID who executed, who became root to execute this command.
Okay.
So AUID stands for actual user ID. So if I run a command ID and let us say ec2-user, what is the UID, guys?
1000.
And what it is showing here?
1000.
So do not like be in a dilemma that whether someone will get to know or not. Yes, the person will get to know if the person knows how to operate Linux operating system.
And what if the
And this
audit file
particular-
is also removed?
Pardon?
That is what my question also. Like he asked, will you be able to delete this audit file? And I am asking, like, are we able to alter the audit file? This file, can we able to alter it?
Yes, you can do that. But even if you run this particular command, there is nothing.
Yeah.
It is deleted.
Writing 0 bytes to audit log. Yeah.
Right, guys? But keep this thing in mind. Even this thing will also get recorded after some time. And moreover, let me tell you guys what happens in real industry. So just to be sure that we know that there are so many like dust kind of Linux administrators are sitting in the organization, right? So they will definitely try to do this thing. So they do not only hold the particular information of audit files, but they keep a track on your history as well. So they will run this command, they will get to know that you truncated it. Yeah.
Okay, and can you please show it again, like path of this audit file, PWD?
Now let us say you will say, okay, what if I'm going to remove my bash underscore history file? So there is only one command known as reboot, right? What if you say I'll clean my history? There is no history available. There is no command history -r. History is revived.
Right.
Moreover, whenever you will log out from this and you will log in again, sudo -, run a command cat.bash underscore history. So even in your history file, they will you will get to know that someone has removed that particular. Like you cannot escape yourself until unless you are a hacker.
Okay.
I can save myself that whatever command I'm going to execute, that will not be recorded. So there are some history hacks. Well, not to go into that direction right now. Let us be administrator first. Then after we will try to become hacker.
Okay.
So, okay. So guys, any questions so far if you have?
No, clear. Nice.
So what would you like to go for next? Because the particular basic commands are done. Obviously, the command will keep on coming along with the time.
That audit file location is what, sir?
Pardon?
Where log?
Where
Audit. Locale.
Okay.
So location, are we planning to learn about the bash shell script?
Yes, definitely. Like at least like beginning, we are definitely going to cover based like you shall be able to develop shell script based on your use case.
Right. From basic to advanced level.
Advanced level, we will not go into this particular batch. Reason being because there is nothing known as advanced.
Okay.
There is nothing known as advanced. If you know the core of that command, only then you will be able to say that you know advanced.
Okay.
See what happens. People see the command from 10,000 feet overview. Let us say I know ls command. What does it mean? You know ls, right? But if you know ls-l, it means you know intermediate.
Right.
Then after, if you know ls-l rtha, it means you know more than like intermediate. But if you know the exact use of this particular, for example, you are sitting here in chat/etc, right? You are running ls command, but ls-l-rth, so you are not able to see what is inside it. So if you know lr, it will print every directory inside every file inside each directory. What are the permission, what are ownership, everything it is going to print. So it means this is something which is known as advanced.
Right.
So I will be telling you like what are the use cases of writing for loop, how do you take backup of files, how do you like renew password of user, that sort of script I'll for sure help you writing. Like how do we define variables, where do we call these variables, that's what we will cover. But I will never ever call that is advanced scripting. That will be based on your use case.
Yeah, right. So that's the only thing I want. It's like,
yeah, that thing we will cover, but for sure, but we will not cover advanced.
I understand. It will be never advanced.
We will go into depth, but not for advanced.
Right.
Because advanced things which people call it, I call it very basic thing.
Right.
The depth of things are known as advanced. So guys, I guess like that is it for today.
Okay.
So if you have any question, you guys can ask.
You'll be providing the recordings, right? So in case you want to.
Today's session will be published via YouTube, and from tomorrow it will be only for registered candidates.
Okay, sure. Please provide the.
And guys, if you have any sort of feedback, then I would love to hear. How was the session?
So excellent.
Thank you.
Miss, your way of to teach, right? It's a very simple and basic way, which I think I felt that it will go on our mind very easily.
Thank you, buddy. Because it's been more than 1.5 decades I have been teaching. It's been 15 years I have been teaching.
No,
And a
thank you.
couple of guys are here, like who's like those A's are approximately 20 or 22 years only. Like more than half of their age I have been teaching so far. And obviously, like as you see, there are two things. A person who is teaching only and a person who is working in corporate and then teaching brings a difference.
Yes, that's true.
You had
Yes,
worked
yes.
on the corporate also, right?
Me, yeah, it's like I've been like currently I'm working as a AVP.
Okay.
I'm into
My brother
management.
also working there, sir.
Pardon?
My brother also working there only.
Where?
In your company.
ABB, Bangalore.
Okay. Which
No, no.
location?
Bangalore Whitefield, sir.
Okay. And what is the name?
Venkatesh Kulkarni.
Okay.
ABB is the company, I think, responsible for the electric shed, I think. Electric.